Nobody wins when the family feels.
I don't need nobody trying to change my ways. Stuck in this phase, I'm dying slowly, trying to count my days.
Two, but if I got two, I want the big one. I want the big one. I want the big one. I want the.
Is Puerto Rico safe? Generally, yes.
Since Hurricane Maria tore through Puerto Rico as a near Category 5 hurricane, the hurricane killed at least 3,000 Puerto Ricans, even more by some counts, and significantly impacted, if not obliterated, the island's electrical grid, leaving many without running water and without power for months.
Fam, my first time going to Puerto Rico was like many tourists' first time. You find out a whole lot quick. One of the first things that stood out to me the most was at night on my way to the resort, no one stopped at a red light. I thought that was crazy, but it's true. We got to the resort. At the front desk, I asked the receptionist, why was no one stopping at the red light today? She looked at me in my eyes and she asked me, do you guys stop at red lights at night? And I thought she was joking, but she was dead ass. And that told me everything I needed to know to stay on point even more while out here in PR. Nonetheless, I got the memo early, and some people don't. Some people just ignore the red flags, just like they do at home. And within the last 24 hours, a once aspiring rapper had decided to go to the PR to get a peace of mind. After going to a strip club, having all his jewelry, broadcasting lots of money, throwing it on the strippers, he was followed, leaving the strip club, robbed, and killed. Today we're going to identify who this man is, pay our respects, go over the details that's released to the public thus far, and see how many of us can learn from this situation, especially going to some of these places that's considered outside or even inside the U.S. But before we go over this one, I want you guys to remember, I don't give you no angle. I just give you the story. So with that being said, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We're going to jump right to it. Now fam, as mentioned, we're going to Puerto Rico. And some people feel it's dangerous at night. And why people run red lights? Well, in certain neighborhoods, especially part of San Juan, Carolina, Ponce, it's common local knowledge that if you sit at a red light late at night, that's not folklore, that's survival behavior. Here's why. Carjackings and robberies do happen at intersections after dark. Some crews specifically watch stopped vehicles. Locals know which lights are safe, which aren't. Police response times can be long in high crime zones, so locals treat red lights at night like yield signs. Slow down, check, and keep moving. Not because Puerto Rico is lawless everywhere, but because enforcement isn't consistent. Now for those wondering, is cartel activity in Puerto Rico? Well, not Mexican style cartels, but organized drug crews absolutely exist. Puerto Rico is a major drug transship hub between South America and the U.S. U.S. territory, easier movement of people and goods, a prime route for cocaine, fentanyl, and weapons. When it comes to being flashy, wearing jewelry makes you a target. This is the part people from the mainland underestimate. If you come from the U.S. with heavy chains, watches, designer bags, rental cars, mainland accents, you immediately read as has money. Not from here. Doesn't know the rules. There's opportunity, not hatred. Criminals aren't looking to crash out. They're looking for easy, fast licks or low resistance. Tourists visiting Americans don't know which streets to avoid, don't know local warning signs, and don't know when to keep moving. That's why locals dress low-key at night. Puerto Rico is part of the U.S. but still feels abandoned. This is the uncomfortable truth. Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory, not a state. Residents are U.S. citizens, but they can't vote for president. Infrastructure is underfunded, and federal response is often delayed or limited. After Hurricane Maria, people saw it clearly as slow aid, political excuses, decay, power grid, and police shortages. Not to mention economic pressure.
Since Hurricane Maria tore through Puerto Rico as a near Category 5 hurricane, the hurricane killed at least 3,000 Puerto Ricans, even more by some counts, and significantly impacted, if not obliterated, the island's electrical grid, leaving many without running water and without power for months, almost a year in some cases. And as we find ourselves at the peak of hurricane season, questions remain if the state can still count on government response to a disaster given recent FEMA changes from the past few months.
Is Puerto Rico safe? Generally, yes. It's a very safe place to visit. I've traveled to many places in the world, And after living here for just a few months, I can say with confidence that it is a safe place. Now, there are some dangerous areas that are well known, like La Perla, which has been in the news, and if you avoid these areas, you will not have any problems. In my opinion, the places that are not safe are the narrow, rural roads at night. If you are a tourist and you're driving at night on a rural road, go slow because there are few lights on these roads. The roads have tight turns and unexpected hazards. Some turns may not have guardrails, and cell service may be limited in these areas, so be careful there.
And a young man from West Orlando, Florida, was an aspiring rapper who made it retired before he was 30, had millions of views before he was 21 years old, and went by the name Scoop Banks. 7 years ago, he made his mark in the rap industry when he did a song in a collab with k.lled.
Still trying to take the pain away. Pain for me, I don't need nobody trying to change my ways. Back in this phase.
What's up, man? What's up?
Chillin', man. I'm chillin'.
Live out here in West Orlando already.
You did. Y'all been on the radar for a little minute, man. You know, I've been compiling this top 10 Orlando artist list, man, and y'all niggas done came across the desk, man. So, how y'all feel like y'all compared with the other Orlando artists on that top 10 list? What do y'all feel like y'all placed together?
Well, shit, you know, a nigga just grateful to be on that motherfucker at this point, you feel me? I feel like all the artists out of Orlando snapping, you feel me? Everybody snapping, man.
Just to be,
everybody doing their thing.
You know what I'm saying? Just to be mentioned in that little top 10, you feel me? It's just what it is right now.
Just trying to show love to everybody in the city, you feel me?
Now, that interview was 7 years ago, and since then, Scoop Banks has been taking another route, trying to become an entrepreneur and stand out the spotlight. But he did the opposite thing when he went to PR to celebrate and try to clear his mind. On the second day of February of 2026, his friend went to Facebook and said the following: Lord Bro was in PR trying to get a peace of mind with a few other people. Those people had jewelry, etc. After they left the strip club, got followed in the Uber, robbed, and he was one of the ones that got murdered during a robbery. When you looked on Scott's Instagram page, this was his last story.
She want the rich one, bitch, pick one. It's the gang of us every time.
And shortly after, the friend had posted the article on when and how this took place. He said some of this article is false, but the moral of it is he got murdered in PR during a robbery. It quoted, 2 tourists shot in San Juan. A tourist was killed and another was wounded by gunfire early this morning during an alleged robbery at the intersection of Roberto H. Todd and Manuel Fernandez, Jancos Avenue at Stop 18 in Santurce, San Juan. According to preliminary data, at approximately 1:16 a.m., a report of multiple gunshot victims was made through the 911 emergency system. Upon arrival, officers found the 23-year-old man with a gunshot wound to the arm. He was transported to a nearby hospital and is in stable condition. Meanwhile, the second victim died while receiving medical assistance at a hospital. He was in a Toyota Sienna belonging to the private transport service Uber. If his identity is confirmed, the victim is a 27-year-old man residing in the state of Florida, who along with the injured man had been in Puerto Rico for 3 days. During the robbery, the driver was beaten. It is alleged that he ran from the scene and arrived at the Santurce police station before being transported to a clinic. It is currently unknown how he arrived there. It was the injured victim who drove the vehicle to the local hospital in Santurce, PBA Hospital. Quoting, a robbery report surfaced alongside a report of a gunshot victims, and in the end, they were part of the same incident. What the investigation suggests is they were leaving the District Gentlemen's Club and requested an Uber. Later on, they alleged that the victims of a robbery. It was not a carjacking. This is still information that needs to be corroborated. As we head out of here, we do want to say once again, rest in peace to Scoop Banks and love and condolences to his family. Let's make this clear, fam. Puerto Rico isn't some lawless island. And it's not a movie set either. It's a place with real people, real pride, and real problems that didn't come out of nowhere. When you see folks rolling through red lights at night, that's not recklessness. That's adaptation. When people move low-key, that's not fear. That's awareness. And the uncomfortable truth is this. Puerto Rico is America enough to follow U.S. laws, but not American enough to get the same level of protection, resources, or urgency. The gap is where the crime finds oxygen. So if you coming from the mainland thinking island life means carefree nights and flashy living, understand this. Respect the land, respect the people, and respect the rules you don't see written down. Because out here, survival isn't loud, it's quiet, observant, and intentional. I'm not here to give you no angle. I'm just here to give you the story, and now you decide how you move from there. Fam, this was the story of a rapper from Florida who went to the strip club and unfortunately gunned down leaving after he made himself a target with jewelry, lots of cash, and a flamboyant lifestyle for the night. Let me know how you guys feel about this one in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Until then, I'll catch you guys on the next one.